Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Speaking Podcast, where we make learning English natural, easy, and actually enjoyable.
Hey everyone, great to have you here with us today. I'm David.
And I'm Anna. David, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic, Anna. You know why? Because today's topic is something every English learner needs to master.
Absolutely. And I can tell our listeners are going to love this one because it's so practical. You'll use this in real-life situations all the time.
That's right. But before we reveal what we're talking about today, let me ask you something, Anna. When was the last time someone asked you to introduce yourself?
Oh, just last week, actually. I went to a networking event, and you know what? Even though I speak English every day, I still had to think about how to present myself clearly and confidently.
Exactly. It happens to everyone. Whether you're at a job interview, a party, a language exchange, or even just meeting your neighbor for the first time.
So today's topic is how to speak about yourself in English.
Perfect. And if you're excited about this topic and want more practical English lessons like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. It really helps us create more content for you.
Yes, please do. And ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode. All right, David, let's dive right in.
Let's do it. So, Anna, here's the thing that makes this topic challenging. When someone says, "Tell me about yourself," what do they actually want to know?
That's such a good question because honestly, there are a million things we could say about ourselves, but we need to be strategic, right?
Exactly. You don't want to share your entire life story in 2 minutes, but you also don't want to just say your name and then go silent.
So true. I think the key is understanding the context. Who's asking? Why are they asking? And what information would be most relevant and interesting in that situation?
Brilliant point. Let's break this down into different scenarios and give our listeners some fantastic frameworks they can use.
I love that approach. Let's start with the most basic level. David, imagine we just met. Tell me about yourself.
Okay, here's a simple starter template that works almost anywhere. Hi, I'm David. I'm from Chicago, but I currently live in New York. I work as a marketing consultant, and in my free time, I love playing guitar and exploring new coffee shops.
Perfect. That was clear, friendly, and interesting. You gave me 4 key pieces of information: your name, your background, what you do, and a personal interest.
Exactly. And notice I kept it under 20 seconds. That's the sweet spot for a first introduction.
Now let me try. Hi, I'm Anna. I'm originally from California, and I've been living in Boston for about 3 years now. I'm an English teacher and podcast host, and I'm passionate about traveling and trying new cuisines.
Excellent. I immediately know who you are, and you've given me multiple conversation starters. I could ask about Boston, your teaching, or where you've traveled recently.
That's the secret, isn't it? A good self-introduction should open doors to more conversation, not close them.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the essential building blocks. What are the core elements people should include when talking about themselves?
Great question. I always recommend starting with what I call the Foundation 5. These are your name, where you're from, what you do, your interests, and something that makes you unique.
I love that. Let's explore each one. First up, your name. Now, this seems obvious, but there's actually a technique here.
Yes, when you say your name, say it clearly and don't rush. If you have a name that might be unfamiliar to English speakers, it's totally okay to say it twice or even spell it out.
For example, my name is Xiaowei. That's Xiaowei. Most people call me Wei.
Perfect. You're making it easy for people to remember and use your name correctly. That's confident and considerate.
Now, let's talk about where you're from. This is where you can share a bit about your background and origin.
Right, and you have options here. You can say where you were born, where you grew up, or where you currently live, or all three if they're different.
Good point. I was born in Tokyo, but I grew up in Osaka and now I'm living in London. That tells an interesting story right there.
Exactly. And if you're from a place that people might not know, you can add a reference point, like, I'm from Chiang Mai. It's a beautiful city in northern Thailand.
That's so helpful. Now, what about talking about what you do? This can be tricky because not everyone has a traditional job title.
True. Whether you're a student, a professional, a stay-at-home parent, or between jobs, you can still answer this confidently.
Let's hear some examples. Anna, how would different people answer this?
Sure, a student might say, I'm studying engineering at UCLA. I'm in my third year and I'm specializing in renewable energy.
Nice. What about someone who's working?
I'm a graphic designer at a tech startup. I mainly work on user interface designs for mobile apps.
And what if someone is between jobs or changing careers?
I'm currently transitioning from finance to data science. I'm taking online courses and working on some personal projects to build my portfolio.
Excellent. See, there's always a positive, clear way to talk about your current situation. You don't need to apologize or feel awkward about where you are in life.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about interests and hobbies. This is where your personality really shines through.
This is my favorite part. Instead of just listing hobbies, try to be specific and show your enthusiasm.
Yes, compare these two. I like sports versus I'm really into rock climbing. I try to go to the climbing gym at least 3 times a week, and I'm planning a trip to Yosemite next month.
Huge difference. The second one is so much more engaging and memorable. It gives people something to connect with.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to mention unusual or quirky interests. Those are often the most interesting conversation starters.
I collect vintage typewriters, or I'm learning to make traditional Italian pasta from scratch. These things make you memorable.
Love it. Now, let's talk about that fifth element, something that makes you unique. This is your interesting fact or fun detail.
This could be anything. Maybe you speak multiple languages, you've lived in different countries, you have an unusual talent, or you're working towards an interesting goal.
For example, I've visited 35 countries and I'm trying to reach 50 before I turn 40. Or I can solve a Rubik's Cube in under a minute.
Perfect. These details make you three-dimensional and give people something to remember you by.
Now, David, let's talk about adapting your introduction to different situations, because how you introduce yourself at a job interview is very different from a casual party, right?
Completely different. Let's start with professional situations like job interviews or business networking events.
In professional contexts, you want to emphasize your skills, experience, and professional goals. You're essentially answering the question, why should this person want to work with me or know me professionally?
Here's a professional example. I'm Sarah Chen, a digital marketing specialist with 5 years of experience in the tech industry. I've led campaigns for several successful product launches, and I'm particularly passionate about using data analytics to drive marketing decisions. I'm currently looking to join a company where I can take on more strategic responsibilities.
Excellent. That's focused, relevant, and shows clear value. What about in social situations?
Social situations are more relaxed. You want to be friendly, approachable, and show your personality. Think about what would make someone want to continue talking to you.
Hey, I'm Marcus. I just moved to the city last month from Portland. I'm still finding my way around, but I'm loving the food scene here. I work in software development, but honestly, my real passion is playing drums in a jazz band. Do you know any good live music venues around here?
Perfect. That's warm, inviting, and ends with a question that encourages conversation. You're not just talking about yourself, you're opening a dialogue.
Exactly. And notice how Marcus mentioned he's new to the city. That's vulnerable and relatable, which helps build connection.
Great observation. Now, Anna, what about academic settings, like the first day of a language class or a study abroad program?
In academic settings, you want to mention your studies, your learning goals, and maybe why you're interested in that particular subject or program.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elena. I'm from Mexico City, and I'm here to improve my English because I'm planning to apply for a master's program in environmental science in the UK. I love learning about climate solutions, and in my free time, I volunteer with a local conservation group. I'm really excited to practice English with all of you.
Beautiful. That shows motivation, gives context, and creates common ground with other learners.
Now, Anna, let's address something important. A lot of English learners feel nervous about talking about themselves. They worry about making mistakes or not being interesting enough.
Oh, I hear this all the time. And here's what I always say. Authenticity beats perfection every single time.
Say that again for the people in the back.
Authenticity beats perfection. People connect with real stories, real emotions, and real people, not with rehearsed perfect speeches.
Absolutely. It's better to speak simply and genuinely than to use complicated words you're not comfortable with.
And here's another tip. Practice your self-introduction out loud. Not just in your head. Actually speak it.
This is so important. Stand in front of a mirror, record yourself on your phone, or practice with a friend. The more you say it, the more natural it becomes.
Exactly. And prepare a few different versions. A 30-second version, a 1-minute version, and a longer 3-minute version for different situations.
Smart. You never know how much time you'll have, so being prepared for different lengths is really valuable.
Now let's talk about some common mistakes people make when introducing themselves.
Oh yes, let's help people avoid these pitfalls. What's the first one?
Mistake number 1, giving too much information too fast. You don't need to share your entire resume or life story in the first minute.
Right. Leave some mystery, some room for questions. You want to create curiosity, not overwhelm people.
Mistake number 2, being too modest or apologetic. Some cultures teach us to downplay our achievements, but in English-speaking contexts, it's okay to speak positively about yourself.
There's a difference between bragging and confident self-presentation. You can say, I'm proud of my work on that project without sounding arrogant.
Exactly. Mistake number 3, using too many filler words or hedging language. Things like, kind of, sort of, can make you sound uncertain.
It's natural to use some fillers, but try to minimize them. Practice helps with this.
And mistake number 4, forgetting to smile and make eye contact. Nonverbal communication is just as important as your words.
So true. A warm smile and friendly eye contact make people feel comfortable and interested in what you're saying.
All right, David, let's give our listeners some bonus phrases they can use to make their self-introductions even better.
Great idea. Here are some useful phrases for connecting your ideas smoothly.
To talk about your background, I originally come from, or I was raised in, or I have a background in.
To discuss your current situation, these days or currently I'm working on, or at the moment I'm focused on.
To share your interests, I'm really passionate about, or in my spare time I enjoy, or I'm a big fan of.
And to transition to asking about the other person, but enough about me, what about you? Or I'd love to hear about your experience with, or how about you?
These transitions are so important. They show you're not just talking about yourself endlessly, but that you're interested in creating a real conversation.
Absolutely. And speaking of conversation, remember that introducing yourself is just the beginning. The goal is to spark a dialogue, not deliver a monologue.
Perfect way to put it. Now, before we wrap up, let's do a final demonstration. David, let's role play a situation.
Sounds good. What's the scenario?
Let's say we're at an international conference for English teachers, and we've just sat down next to each other at lunch. We've never met before. You go first.
All right. Hi there. I'm David. This is my first time at this conference. Are you a teacher too?
Hi, David. I'm Anna. Yes, I teach English online and also run a podcast about language learning. This is actually my 3rd year attending. How are you finding it so far?
That's amazing. A podcast? I'd love to hear more about that. I teach at a language school in New York, mostly adult learners. I'm really enjoying the conference so far. The session this morning about using technology in the classroom was fantastic.
Oh, I was in that session too. Wasn't it great? I've already thought of 3 new ideas to try with my students. What kind of technology do you currently use in your classes?
And there we go. That's how a natural conversation develops from a good introduction.
Exactly. Notice how we asked follow-up questions, found common ground, and kept the conversation flowing naturally.
That's the real skill, not just introducing yourself, but using that introduction to build genuine connections.
Beautifully said. All right, everyone, we've covered so much today. Let's do a quick recap of the key points.
First, remember the Foundation 5, your name, where you're from, what you do, your interests, and something unique about you.
Second, adapt your introduction to the context. Professional situations need a different approach than social ones.
Third, be authentic. Don't try to be perfect, just be genuine and confident.
Fourth, practice different versions of your introduction so you're ready for any situation.
And fifth, remember that introducing yourself is about starting a conversation, not giving a speech.
Excellent summary. Now, we want to hear from you, our amazing listeners.
Yes, we have a challenge for you. In the comments below, introduce yourself to us and to the other listeners. Use what you learned today.
You can write it in English and don't worry about making it perfect. Just be yourself. We want to know, who are you? Where are you from? And what's one interesting thing about you?
We'll be reading the comments and responding, so don't be shy. This is a great way to practice.
And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with anyone who's learning English. Together, we can help more people communicate confidently in English.
Don't forget to subscribe to English Speaking Podcast if you haven't already, and check out our other episodes for more practical English lessons.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today, everyone. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember that your story is worth sharing.
Until next time, keep speaking, keep learning, and keep growing. Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.